Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
It's a fact, 60% of Americans will retire unexpectedly. Stay tuned to find out the 5 steps to prepare for an unexpected retirement.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the WorryFree Retirement, with your host, 5-time author and fiduciary, the money missionary himself, Tony Walker.
"60% of Americans, folks, are going to retire unexpectedly. And in today's program, we're going to learn the 5 steps to prepare yourself now, no matter what curveballs life throws your way. I'm Tony Walker. You are watching the WorryFree Retirement, and we're pleased to have you today on today's recording up in our Louisville studios, January 30th, 2018, with America's favorite financial sidekick at the helm producing the show, Mr. Aaron Orander. Well, as I like to say, this ain't your granddad's retirement. And before you say, oh no, more discussion about Tony's granddad, please, Tony, enough. Well, this is very important stuff, and it's important to go back very briefly to introduce my granddad, who, again, began working with Bell South in 1932, and with a promise back in 1932. They said, Bill, if you hang in there with us until retirement age, keep your nose clean and show up at work on time and all that stuff, don't take real long lunch breaks, we're going to pay you a pension, Granddad called it mailbox money, and pay for your health insurance for the rest of your life. What a deal, right? Let's face it, folks. We're going to have to say goodbye to Granddad's retirement and that predictable nature of working with one company and them fulfilling the promise of coming through with that retirement account known as a pension, and, of course, Social Security coming through as well. Today, we have a phenomenon that I'm going to coin as the unexpected retirement, and that's the subject of today's program. In fact, I'm reading an article here from USA Today, and they anticipate through various studies that 60% of workers, 60% will retire sooner than they planned. Now, this could be a job loss of various natures. It could be a health situation. Not only your health. I mean, we always tend to think, well, yeah, I could have bad health, Tony. I want to work to 65 or 66 or whatever, but what if I have a turn for the worse in health? Yeah, that's one thing, but guess what else I'm seeing? As a retirement specialist, I'm seeing people who are nearing retirement and they're being forced to make tough decisions, not on their health, but on family's health. That could even be parents, or here's another thing, it could be circumstances that change in life. For instance, I've got somebody that may go on and retire early because they are starting to have to take care of their grandchildren. So maybe it's not a health issue, but it's certainly a family situation that's changed. So that's one reason people might retire unexpectedly. It could be that as everybody continues to grow older, all right, employers are getting a tad nervous about that, and we have all these younger workers coming on. By the way, this is not a new phenomenon. If we go back in time to Germany back in the 1800s, the advent of the pension was really this phenomenon. What happened was in Germany, as is today, all the older workers weren't leaving. They wouldn't go anywhere. They kept hanging around. And then you got all these young guys sitting around on the sidewalks, and they need a job. So what do? You incentivize the older workers to quit work by offering them pension plans. And then when they leave, these high-paying older guys, back then it was all the old guys, then they hire the younger workers, and do you think they're going to pay the younger workers the same amount of money? No, of course not. And then nowadays, if you can get those older workers out, you may be sitting there watching this going, Tony, that's me. I'm getting offered my pension as a lump sum buyout, which incidentally, if that's you folks, if you've got a lump sum buyout offer, please see us. We specialize in this kind of thing to help you make a decision on whether to take the lump sum or the installment. But I digress. I'm sorry. So anyway, they want you to move on. And they want to hire younger people because they're cheaper, folks. So you may be able to experience this unexpected retirement. They're not going to tell you because you're getting too old, but because you're getting too old. So we could go on and on about various reasons why you might be contemplating out of the blue an unexpected retirement. In fact, later on the show, I'm going to share with you an exact case I worked on recently that will kind of bring this to the front. So here's the question. Let's put this question in the screen here, and it's a great one. If you were forced to retire today, would you be prepared? If you were forced to retire today, for whatever reason, would you be prepared? And you might be saying, Tony, I'm sitting here watching this show in my pajamas in my recliner, and I'll admit to you on TV, but nobody else, I ain't prepared. In fact, funny, it's watching this show, Tony, because guess what? I just got the pink slip the other day, and I'm scared to death. I have no game plan. I don't know how to use my money. I don't know if I should spend my money. My wife, I still haven't told her I've been let go. Now, that wouldn't happen, but it could, right? Because we don't have a game plan. Folks, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. If something happens unexpectedly in your retirement, what's more embarrassing is not meeting with somebody like us to get a game plan. And regardless of your age, we'll talk about this later. The whole point is you want the game plan in the perfect world before the unexpected retirement, not at last minute. We can handle the last minute stuff, but I encourage people, get the game plan now. Get it in place in case the old pink slip or the old circumstances of life come at you very quickly. So let's think about this a minute. You're worried about retirement. You're dealing with this phenomenon known as the unexpected retirement, and you don't have a plan in place. So what we're going to do is talk about the idea of how this comes up in the first place. How does it affect people? Give me an example, Tony, of what you're talking about. Okay, so and again, I'll cover this in a little more detail, but let's set the stage first of all. I had Aaron as in the studio with us, I guess on Monday, the day before this recording. I probably had close to 20 appointments yesterday. I'll have a bunch more today after I do this show on Tuesday. But basically, I had someone come in, a 60-year-old female, and this thing happened to her. She said she had her husband with her. She said, Tony, I went in the other day to my employer, been with this employer, the same company, 30 years, thought everything was going pretty good, didn't think much about it. And they set me down. They said, basically, you got two options. Number one, we'd love to keep you on board, but we're going to give you lesser pay. In other words, we're going to give you a demotion. They didn't say that, but pay you less money. Option number two, you can retire now and we'll give you a severance package. So the person reluctantly accepted the severance package, went on and accepted the retirement gig because they didn't want to take the demotion. And now all of a sudden it dawns on them, now what do I do? What am I going to do with my 401k, which is going to have to be one of their main sources of retirement? What do I do because I thought the next 5 years I would have income coming in from wages? Now I got to turn in my capital, as you like to say, Tony, into income. What about the trip? My husband, and it was the wife. So the wife is talking here. So what about the trip my husband and I were going to take later this year that I've already put a deposit down on? Kind of reminds me of the old Christmas Vacation movie. Do you remember that movie? If you can, look it up. It's a funny scene. The basis of the movie is Clark Griswold has gone on, because he's gotten bonuses year after year from his employer, he's gone on and put on a large down payment for a pool. That's going to be the family Christmas present. He's already announced to everybody he's building the pool. He's going to fly them in because he's expecting all this money from his usual Christmas bonus. Well, comes to find out, he opens the envelope waiting to see this huge check, and instead of a large check, he gets the Jelly of the Month Club award. So basically, no pool. So that might be you. You may be feeling like you thought you're going to keep working, and instead you've just been handed the Jelly of the Month Club award, and there you are. What are you going to do? Maybe you've got ready to remodel your home. I mean, all these things you were thinking about doing are going to have to be put on hold, or at least a different game plan put in place, because maybe you were planning on retiring at 66 instead of this unexpected retirement much earlier. There's only one way to protect yourself from this unexpected retirement, folks, and there's really 5 bullet points I'm going to give you before we take a break and when I come back go over this case. So first of all, the first thing you'll have to do to arm yourself against a unexpected retirement, you got to have a game plan. What the WorryFree Retirement does is provide you a game plan at no out-of-pocket cost. What I mean by that is we'll go through the entire assessment, lay it all out. There's absolutely no fee for our process. Now, how do we get paid? We get paid on the sale of products. So if you roll your 401k over, if we sell an annuity, insurance products, we get a commission. If we put it in our Charles Schwab management platform, we charge a whopping fee of 0.6%. That's more than a third less of what most money managers charge. The other day, we saved somebody $8,000 a year in fees. Now, that's a lot of money. That's money that could be used to pay for unexpected health care costs. So again, folks, this is a big deal, is to have a game plan now, not waiting until the unexpected event happens. Secondly, a diversified strategy. Do you have a diversified portfolio? Market's at an all-time high. You're 55, 60 years of age. Do you really think you want to have 100% of your money in the market? I met with a gentleman yesterday that's very, very well-versed in investments. He said, Tony, I don't know if we're going to have a downturn, but I know this. Since the mid-1800s, I hadn't thought of this one. He said there's been a recession every 10 years. Again, this is not science, but it is fairly analytical and has happened historically. So when was the last recession? 2008. What are we in this year? 2018. I don't know. If I'm getting close to retirement, I don't think I'm going to have 100% of my money in the market. So you got to be diversified portfolio, and you have to have that portfolio ready to generate income. This is why we love annuities so much, folks. Annuities are the only instrument that can guarantee an income you can never outlive. The second issue, we've got low interest rates in the bank. Now, while we continue to want to have some money in the bank, how much do we really have in the bank? Many of you come in to see me and you've got $100,000, $200,000 sitting in the bank. What are you going to do with it? We don't know. I guess use it for retirement. Come on, folks. There's things we can do better than these low-yield bank savings accounts, specifically if you're needing this money for retirement income. Another issue about this unexpected retirement is longevity. Think about this. If you're going to retire at 66 and people are living longer and longer, and now you've been given the unexpected retirement issue at 60, that's 6 years of income that not only do we have to draw off our capital, but we don't have to go into the capital. This is a big deal, and we need to meet if this has happened to you, folks. Again, these are things that we've already thought through, and we can try to help you set up a game plan. The next key issue, you got to have a tax-efficient investment strategy. Many of you are paying way too much in taxes. Many of you are paying double taxes. Many of you don't understand the tax tumor. Many of you are getting ready to take out money out of your 401k and possibly unnecessarily tax your Social Security. We can help you plan through the use of your money and try to keep your taxes diversified. One of the biggest expenses, folks, in retirement is still taxes. People think they'll be out of the tax loophole. In most cases, they're not. Let us try to help you plan your taxes. Many people are going to pay through the nose in taxes. Only a savvy few will legally pay far less. Let us try to help you be one of those savvy few. The next is make sure that you're allocating everything appropriately on the income plan. We create something, it's a proprietary software package I created called an income plan. And on that, you can see different times when we will take money out of different pots of money, which allows you to remain diversified and mainly to make sure that you don't run out of money in retirement. So this is the type of thing we'll do when we meet to go over your personal situation. And then finally, this is a biggie, Social Security benefits. The reason I have a full-time person that's certified in Social Security planning is because it's the foundation for everybody. Most people, unless you're a teacher's retirement or something like that, has a Social Security, and that Social Security is very important. And how you claim your Social Security could cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. So if you've been hit with an unexpected retirement, contact us immediately. Let's sit down. We will go through a free Social Security analysis to make sure we are maximizing that Social Security. Well, we're covering a lot of information. We're dealing with this notion of an unexpected retirement and what we can do to combat it and set you on a course to a worry-free retirement. I'm going to get the whiteboard out and I'm going to draw around a little bit on it to kind of give you some insight into how did I look at this case the other night of this 60-year-old female that unexpectedly had to retire. I'm going to get the whiteboard out. You're listening and watching the Worry-Free Retirement. I'll be right back.
And now it's time for the adventures of Stella, the Black Russian Terrier. You've been watching The Adventures of Stella, the Black Russian Terrier.
Are you retired or retiring soon? Can you afford for your money to take a hit with the stock market being so volatile these days? Nobody can time the market, but having a retirement game plan with Tony Walker Financial gives you peace of mind and sleep insurance. Learn how to prevent losses in your retirement accounts and plan your retirement around an income you can never outlive. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com today to schedule a personal meeting with Tony to secure your hard-earned money. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. Kind of an interesting show. I hope you agree. This whole notion of an unexpected retirement. In one of our next shows, maybe not the next one, but pretty soon we're going to talk about another new concept called quasi-retirement. That's kind of an interesting concept. But the unexpected retirement, we've dealt with the issue of losing your job for various reasons. But what about also another unexpected retirement would be that you've had a lump sum pension offered to you. Or maybe just circumstances are changing and you're thinking, you know what, I want it to be my choice if I decide to retire. And the question is, Tony, can I do it? One of the best things we can do for savers who are thinking about retirement is take them through the Worry-Free Retirement. Folks, I've been doing this for years. I've literally met with thousands of people contemplating retirement. And we don't charge any fee to go through this analysis. We're having a lot of people come to us who are wanting to retire early. They have maybe lump sum pensions or their 401ks are higher now because the market's higher. What a great time to sit down and see if now you could retire early, unexpectedly, in a good way. So again, take advantage of that. Go to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. You would be meeting with me in person at either our Louisville or Bowling Green office. What you do when you click on that Let's Get Started, we will then send you what's called a starter kit. When you get the starter kit, you organize all of your information and then you bring that to the meeting. At the first meeting, all we do is sit down for about 30 minutes and I go through what's called a fact-finding exercise, a vision exercise, make sure I know what you got, make sure I know what you have as a fiduciary. We look at all that. We have a second appointment where then I share with you our findings. And the beauty is there's no strong arming, there's no pressure. Many people will take that binder, the assessment binder, home, think about it, set up a third appointment. We go at your pace, folks. This is a serious decision. You want to make sure you get it right because many of you, this is the only shot you got. So why not meet with somebody that's experienced in retirement planning? Take advantage of that. Okay, Aaron's sitting there going, come on, Tony, let's get on with the rest of the show here. Actually, this is one house. Okay, now I'm not the best artist, but I like to doodle. I'm a doodler, okay? So what we're going to show here is the whole issue of how do I approach mentally and economically the unexpected retirement. As a retirement specialist, how can I boil this down so savers can understand their options and what we're about to go through? So we're going to talk about a house, okay? So this is the front of the house, and this is the same house, the rear of the house, the back door. So here's the front door. Kind of looks like a front of a house, doesn't it, Aaron? You got look at that, the bushes and the sidewalk. Okay. The rear of the house, what's that over there, Tony? That's a grill. But you get your back door, the grill's always in the back. I thought that would be actually funny to put a real nice grill in the front of the house just to be different. I don't know. So what we're saying here is whenever you retire, especially if it's an unexpected retirement, we have to know this. We have to know the money, that's called the money coming in, cash in, how much money is coming in the front door. Well, most people would say, Tony, I just quit my job or I'm thinking about leaving. I don't have any income anymore. That's why I came to you. I don't know how much money's coming in the front door because I'm not working anymore. I did have money, wages coming in the front door. And here's the problem. Cash out the back door. Okay? And in many cases, if we're not careful, this doesn't change. So let's think about this, assuming you're going to stay in your same home. If you're not doing any planning, you'll still have the same utilities. If you have a house payment, you still got house payments, you got car insurance, you got taxes, a new expense that might even be higher. What are you going to do about health insurance? If you're age 60, have you really gone out to see what health insurance is going to cost you to go out and buy it on your own? Now maybe you're eligible for the exchange and we have a contact we can get you in touch with so you can at least see what your options are. We don't deal in that area. But folks, there's all kinds of backdoor cash out needs you still have. So the problem is you don't know how much money's coming in because you're not used to dealing with assets and making assets turn into income. That's our specialty. But I guarantee you we can figure out what we call a spending plan. We need to know what is the cash going out the back door. Now here's the problem, and here's where the planning comes in. Most people, most advisors come over here and they immediately, all they talk about is let us invest your money. As if they've got the magical cure. Many of them, there's a bunch of them now because the market's doing so well. These people are acting like they're geniuses. They're coming in and telling you how much money you're going to make, and don't worry about the fees. You grow, we grow, it's all great. And they forget to tell you what happens if we have another '08, right? Scary stuff. Again, we talked about that earlier. I don't know if this would be a good way to look at things, but I kind of agreed with the fellow. I hadn't thought about this. If we have another recession, they happen every 10 years. They have every 10 years for quite a long time. And you're now unexpectedly retired and you got all your money in the market and the guy's charging 1.5% and you need income, you're in deep trouble. So again, investments are just part of it, but more importantly now, if you're a saver, you better take some of those winnings off the table. Now, what's the other issue? Out the back door, the big issue are what I call the 4 costs of money. Now, this is where our expertise comes in. There are basically 4 costs of money. Let's look at these. You have taxes, okay? You have fees. You have insurance premiums. Boy, these are biggies. And then finally, you have interest that you may be paying. So, folks, what happens when we're doing a retirement plan, I cannot emphasize this enough. You've unexpectedly retired, or you've unexpectedly decided you want to retire. Again, I'm having a lot of people come to me and saying, Tony, my job's not what it used to be. I'm not having as much fun. They're changing up everything. I had a gentleman the other day say, Tony, I've been doing the same thing for years. I know what I'm doing. But now they want me to learn all this new computer technology. And it's like, I'm 62 years of age. You know, I can't even get the 12 o'clock on my VCR to stop flashing. So this is a huge issue for people. So you might be sitting there saying, Tony, can I call it quits? Remember, if you have had a lot of money in your 401k and it's gone up in value, this might be the best time you've ever had to take some of those winnings off the table and come up with a game plan. What else we're going to look at over here, and we'll put this kind of in the middle, Aaron, is Social Security. Remember, this person in this example, her and her husband, were each age 60. Well, you can't even start Social Security until you're 62, so we have a huge dilemma. When are we going to start Social Security? Well, we have to know about the 401k plan. Do they have a lump sum pension they could take? So the 401k plan will then be brought in as we analyze the decision on the Social Security. On the one hand, each of these things we're talking about has to stand on its own. Then the expertise is, as these all start converging, as we start thinking through, how are we going to create money coming in the front door, and more importantly, how do we reduce these costs in between so we don't have so much waste going out the back door. So folks, if you're sitting there saying, Tony, I've never thought about all this stuff, no wonder I'm so nervous about the future and worried about the retirement, I don't understand how all this works. Well, folks, we do. And one of the things we've become very good at is explaining in plain English how to set up a game plan that includes safety, security, and simplicity. That's the worry-free retirement, and that's the essence. Take advantage of meeting with me in person. We have 2 offices. By the way, our Louisville office, Aaron would throw up a picture there, and we'll try to, let's put some photos up there, Aaron. There's a few photos where they've been working inside. We're building out a brand new, humongous studio upstairs. A lot of remodeling going on in this building. It's at 8303 Shelbyville Road. We thought we were going to get in March. I think Gina's probably right here, and I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll be in there sometime in the spring, our brand new offices. In the meantime, of course, we still have the Bowling Green offices, and our current Louisville office is located in Plainview, right off of Hurstbourne Avenue. So take advantage of meeting with me in person. No cost or obligation. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Click on that Let's Get Started button, and we'll make that happen. Well, does the Bible have anything to say about worrying about your future and the faith you put in it? Oh, yeah, but first I got to get me a cup of coffee. I'll be right back.
Are you retired or retiring soon? Can you afford for your money to take a hit with the stock market being so volatile these days? Nobody can time the market, but having a retirement game plan with Tony Walker Financial gives you peace of mind and sleep insurance. Learn how to prevent losses in your retirement accounts and plan your retirement around an income you can never outlive. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com today to schedule a personal meeting with Tony to secure your hard-earned money. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
All right, a good cup of coffee on this beautiful Tuesday morning in Louisville, Kentucky. And when you think of retirement, what are you really thinking about? You're thinking about the future. So what we're talking about today is this idea of being blindsided by an unexpected retirement. And of course, your future, or feeling like your future, is shot. A future you've put your faith in that now is not working out. Well, as a retirement specialist, my job is to try to help people think about the future, to secure their future. And in my office, we work with all kinds of people, and we do a pretty good job of helping people plan for the future. But in many cases, folks, it's whether their faith is going to hold up or not. And you know what? There really are no guarantees in life. No matter how much we plan, there is always something that could come up. It really is. It's just the real world that we have not planned on, and that's what we're talking about with even this notion of an unexpected retirement. Spurgeon, in his devotional, this is a great devotional, I'm going to reference it very briefly, is 2 Corinthians 4:18, which he quotes out of that verse, the things which are not seen. 2 Corinthians 4:18, the things which are not seen. See, everything we're talking about in finances, we see the money, we see the 401k plans, but really events can occur that we don't know, we can't see, I don't have a crystal ball, that could affect our future. And the Bible is like this. The Bible is reminding us that the things that we see, we have really no control over. It is the things that are not seen. That's what Hebrews talks about faith, the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. That is the definition of faith. So when we as Christians worry about the future, when we worry about our money, what we're really saying is, Christ, I don't think I really put a lot of confidence in this finished work that the Bible is referring to, or this verse, because I see so many problems around me. I see so much turmoil, and that's opposite of what the Bible teaches us. The Bible teaches us that our future is 100% secure in Christ, all right? We don't see these things because that's the world. What we see is the faith exhibited in Scriptures to tell us what Christ did, why He loved us, why He did what He did for us, and where our hope is, which is really in heaven. So I remind you this morning, Christian, to be careful to put so much stock in what you see, but rather, as the Bible teaches us, look to what is unseen, for what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. I'll look forward to seeing you next week on the WorryFree Retirement. Between now and the next time we meet, though, you remember, if all else fails, you remember to be worry-free. Make it a good one.
Thank you for watching the Worry-Free Retirement with Tony Walker. If you need a safe and simple game plan for your retirement, log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and schedule a free, no-obligation meeting with Tony.